to show you a fun challenge pose for today. So you can, those of you who are working on an arm balance or inversion, can play around with some things to help you get to that place, and this is a great time for you to practice that. So I'm gonna have you, if you have a block, grab one. If you don't, that's okay. I can cue this without that prop as well. What I want you to start by doing, and this assumes that you have warmed up. I've just done a yoga flow, but if you haven't, I recommend warming up before starting to move through these poses, maybe doing some sun A's and sun B's or watching another one of my yoga flows first. So I'm going to do a couple things to help me move into something called forearm stand, pincha mayurasana. And the first thing I'm going to do are some planks. So come into a normal high plank, and then I'm going to drop down to my right forearm and my left forearm. Walking planks are a really good way to kind of help you really find solidness and strength through the shoulders. And as I move, I'm doing my best not to really move my hips too much, and I'm shifting which forearm comes down first. And then I'm gonna stop there. So you can continue to move through quite a few of those each day to kind of build strength. Another thing you can do is just hold forearm plank. So my forearms are making the number 11, so they're parallel to each other. You can also interlace your hands here. Now from here, I'm going to move into dolphin dog. So that means I'm going to walk my feet closer toward my elbows, so my hips come up high. I'm gazing in between my thumbs. Now I'm going to lift one leg up and tap it down, and lift it up and tap it down. Now one more time, lifting it up and tapping it down. I'm going to switch to the other side, lifting up, tap down, lift and tap, lift and tap. Good, I'm going to come back out to my forearm plank, and then I'm going to come down to my knees, quick child's pose. So you can do that quite a few times. As you can see, these are all kind of layers, and maybe you work toward forearm stand, and maybe you're just working toward strengthening your shoulders, which quite frankly is more important than finding a party trick. But it's fun to be able to do if you want something to aim towards. One more breath here. And then I'm going to come back up. And the next pose that I'm going to play with is dolphin dog push-ups. So I'm going to come into my forearm position where my forearms are parallel, and I'm going to lift up my hips, and then I'm going to draw my feet toward my elbows. I'll interlace my hands here, and then I'll draw my chin forward and back up, and forward and back. And lift and lengthen. Lift and bring it up. One more time. Good. And I'll come down. So all of those different poses are going to help you kind of strengthen here. Again, moving into this pose really means that you want to be open in your body. So like even my hamstrings, my hips, all those things really should be kind of more open. So I recommend before going into the full pose that you do those things. If you're ready to play with forearm stand, a wall is really helpful as a tool. You can come kind of 6 inches away from the wall and kick up, and that way you have that safety net. I'm going to take my block and I'm going to play with that for this today. What I'm doing is I'm taking my thumb and my index finger and I'm drawing it up to the corners of that block and then pulling in. So when I do that, I'm really kind of engaging more through my shoulders. It's going to help me. If you don't have a block there, just do the parallel and feel that energy pulling toward each other. Okay, so from here, I'm going to come into my dolphin dog. One thing that I want to make sure of is that my elbows are underneath my shoulders, that they're not coming out, which is something I notice with a lot of people, that happens. And when that happens, you lose a lot of strength. So keep them underneath, and so there's this energy pulling in toward the midline. And then from there, dolphin dog. I'm going to lift my leg and drop it down. My necklace is attacking me. Lift my leg and drop it down. Good. And everyone has a favorite side, usually the one that you start with. Because I'm a yoga teacher, I typically teach right side first, so that's my favorite side. Elbows are going to stand over my shoulders. I'm going to draw into that block. I'm going to lift that top leg high. I'm going to bend that bottom knee. I'm just going to kind of do that kind of motion. That leg comes high, gazing toward my block. And then I'm going to guide my foot up. So I'm going to purposely do some hops here. And as I hop, I'm pressing more down and more into that block. Eventually, you're working toward bringing the legs up. And when you do, draw them together, pull together. And see how long you can hold. You can kind of play around with that. When you're finished, do some stretches with your shoulders, some child's pose, threading the needle. I'll just show you a couple quick, and then you know how to incorporate them on your own. You can come to the belly, arms out to T, lifting, bending one knee, lifting the leg, drawing around, and then coming to the other side. And then maybe find some child's poses as well. And of course, don't forget to get in your Shavasana. Enjoy. Happy practicing.